Hello, my name is Krista Joy, and I'm considered homeless. I'm a resident of Unity Village, the tiny home community in Fairhaven. We are a small homeless encampment facilitated by an organization called Homes Now, Not Later, a group of local citizens helping their less fortunate neighbors. I've never really done anything like this, but given the current circumstances, I have a few things that I feel I need to say as a current resident of Unity Village. In case you do not know the situation, the city is voting whether or not to close us down. Where's the problem, you may ask? The city feels we failed to comply with one line of the document that dictates and governs our city charter, which allows us to operate. That one line states that a staff member of the Homes Now organization must be present on site at all times, 24/7. We were following the degree to the letter until the COVID crisis hit. Even though we residents felt very mistrusted and insulted by the insinuation that we needed babysitters, we went along with the request to keep our housing. After the COVID hit, and residents were told that they were to quarantine themselves at home and only go out if necessary, how were we to comply with that, with the babysitter rule, with the 24/7 staff member? We obviously would stay right where we were at, but what about the staff and board members and volunteers and the myriad of others that came daily to assist us in getting our lives completely back on track? What about them? Well, it was decided by the entire organization, including the residents, that the best possible option was to cut all personnel coming and going to just one person, the chairman of our board, Doug Gustafson. He was the only one coming in or out besides ourselves, besides the residents. He continued to provide those daily services needed for this village to operate. Doug did. The entire time this pandemic has been happening, that has been an open thing. We did not hide this decision and sincerely thought this was the only way to comply with not only the rest of our rules, but also the rules of this COVID outbreak. Now suddenly, the city behaves as if we've hidden this and that they did not know we were doing that. They have now decided they must vote on possibly shutting us down and putting all the residents back on the street. When I heard this, I was naturally concerned about losing my home and cannot understand why educated and intelligent people would consider doing that to us after all of our hard work. Then it occurred to me that they simply must not understand exactly who and what we are down here in Unity Village. So I felt I needed to take a moment and explain precisely what the situation is. Mr. Sepler, Mr. Dahl, and the rest of our city government, you have jobs to do. I understand and support that. And as a citizen of this city, I expect you to do your jobs to the best of your ability. I therefore have to believe that you do not completely understand the less fortunate members of this community. You and others do not seem to understand that there are different classes of homeless people, just as there are different classes in your world. First, you have the down and out. This class is very often dirty, dressed shabbily, unclean, smelly, malnourished, and strung out on several different substances. They are not there yet. They have not hit the complete bottom, and they're not ready. They're not ready to make a change. The next class up are the up-and-comers, or the up-and-coming. They are almost totally ready. They usually have some kind of small income or revenue source. They have more connections, They take a bit better care of themselves. They are cleaner, not quite as volatile, starting to get it together, but not completely done drinking or drugging, but definitely coming up to it. The next class that we have are the nomads. This eclectic group of pioneers actually choose this lifestyle. They are the hobos, the tramps of old that rode the rails and traversed our great nation from one end to the other. They are the restless, the gypsies. They're inflicted with wanderlust and can't sit still. They have to leave soon. They get work when and where they can, but they don't need or want much more than the open road. They are often musicians, artists, or masters of some craft which they use to generate income through miraculous one-of-a-kind art pieces. Lastly, we have the upper class, the investors, I like to call them, because they are extremely invested in their recovery, in getting their lives back. This is who we are at Unity Village. We are the upper class of our set. 90% of our residents you could not visually separate from our staff or board members. If you met a Unity Village resident on the street or in the grocery store, you would never be able to tell they are homeless unless they told you. If anyone has ever had trouble with drugs or alcohol, it was years and years ago. They're just here to get the rest of their life completely back on track. The others are either nomads or simply lost their actual dwelling somehow. But they work full-time, eat healthy, and launder their clothes on a regular basis. They have vehicles and bank accounts. They invest and plan for their future. They know who they are and what they want, and even more importantly, they know how to get it and are actively pursuing it with a dogged relentlessness. They are clean, they are intelligent, and they're driven. So, now the city wants to vote whether or not to close us down because we have not had a full-time staff member present 24/7. So, let's meet some of these horrible degenerates that need this constant supervision. We have 5 residents here that have full-time jobs and are incredibly hard workers. Ugh, what ghastly people. I have seen our deputy manager out in the middle of the night numerous times, working above and beyond the call to make sure someone has their power back on, or a dozen other things get fixed. Yes, clearly that is someone that needs to be watched all the time. We have a gentleman here who, let's just say that he could be raking in the dough every November and December playing Santa. I asked this person why they weren't making a fortune playing St. Nick. And do you know what this sweet little man said to me? Because I don't want to mislead the kids. He said, I am not the real Santa. I don't want to tell the kids that I am. That's a falsehood. Yes, now clearly, this is definitely somebody that should have a round-the-clock guard, because clearly he's up to something. The mayor, or manager, of our village is an absolute force of nature. If you do not know Tina Hayes, she does not know the meaning of slow down, or take a break, or stop doing so much. Determined, saying she's determined is like saying King Kong was a tall fellow. This girl left determined in the dust miles ago. She is teetering on unstoppable. And when I say that she works tirelessly for us and this city, I mean look up the definition because it is not even close to the amount of work that woman does every minute of every day. So yes, once again, clearly a shifty individual that is highly suspect and definitely should be monitored on a regular basis. Then we have one of my absolute best friends here at the village. This incredible, courageous, strong woman is an inspiration to me every single day that I get to hang out with her. She survived domestic violence I can't imagine. And she's been clean and sober from meth for over 16 years. She only used for 8 years. So she has been in recovery for twice as long as she even used. Twice as long as she was even addicted. She has only been with Homes Now and Unity Village for 1 year. So for 15 years, this remarkable woman has done it on her own. She did not have some 24/7 staff member to help her. She did not have a babysitter. She made this decision. She did. And she fought and won that battle on her own, by herself. 15 years before she got to Unity Village. So let me tell you something, City Hall. We do not need a babysitter, and we did not ask for one. We are strong, intelligent, capable adults that got ourselves this far because we know who we are and what we want, and we will not stop until we get it. We residents have always run this camp from day one. Anytime I see Doug or Marcus or any other member of the Homes Now organization, it is in a supportive role. Nobody comes in here and bosses us around and just tells us what to do. We do not need to be told when it is lights out or when there is a problem within our family that we need to address. We know. We already know. So surprise, but we have been the ones running the show the entire time. We are so much more than a camp here. We are more than an organization of like-minded people. We are not the sum of our parts or the ink on our governing documents. We are a family, and we have always done things together as a group, and we will continue to operate that way, because you may be able to stop a movement or shut down an organization or a site, but you will never stop or silence or even slow down this family. We residents have complied with every single thing you have thrown at us, and we have handled it together with intelligence and with our own indomitable spirit and style. So if you want to come at us, City Hall, you better come with a whole lot more than some flimsy line on a piece of paper, because that's not going to cut it. You better come with everything you have, because we have more strength and more resolve than you can comprehend. And we will not go quietly. We have not yet begun to fight. So, that is what I wanted to say. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Thank you.